Welcome everyone. My name is Jessica Moe, and I am a doctoral candidate with the University of Maryland Global Campus. Thank you for taking the time to review the recording of my SOARS, Student Opportunities to Advance Research and Scholarship, presentation in preparation for my live presentation on Thursday, 15 June 2023. Today, I will present the current status of my dissertation as of Monday, 5 June 2023. Please note that my dissertation is a work in progress, and various aspects may be revised, edited, and/or modified prior to my live presentation. During my live presentation, I will provide a 2 to 3 minute recap of my dissertation topic, as well as provide updates of my dissertation progress. My dissertation research is focused on workplace isolation experienced by geographically dispersed staff and leadership strategies that may be used to address these perceptions of workplace isolation. The current working title of my dissertation is Leadership Strategies for Addressing Workplace Isolation in a Geographically Dispersed Workforce. The specific management problem that my dissertation focuses on is that leaders lack the strategies to address perceptions of workplace isolation experienced by a geographically dispersed workforce. I pursued this topic due to my current role within my organization and leading a staff that is geographically dispersed. Advances in technology and the 2019 global pandemic helped shape the development of organizations' reliance upon flexible work arrangements and a dispersed workforce. Leading a dispersed workforce differs from leading a workforce in a traditional setting. And during the rapid transition to flexible work arrangements, as a result of the 2019 global pandemic, managers were faced with the task of leading a dispersed workforce with little to no guidance. Geographic dispersion promotes feelings of employee isolation, which is negatively associated with employee performance. Recent research has noted a need to address leadership strategies targeting workplace isolation and organizational strategies to lessen the impact of workplace isolation, loneliness, and well-being. My research question is, what leadership strategies can be used to address workplace isolation in a geographically dispersed workforce? I conducted a scoping literature review to assess available research in order to address my research question, what leadership strategies can be used to address workplace isolation in a geographically dispersed workforce. The literature landscape explored three main themes. First, the literature landscape revealed how researchers have defined workplace isolation over the past several decades, as well as how researchers have measured workplace isolation. This theme included research by Cooper and Curlin 2002, Marshall et al. 2007, Golden et al. 2008, and Sahai et al. 2021. Second, the literature landscape revealed antecedents, mediators, and moderators that contribute to employee perceptions of workplace isolation. This included research by Bentley et al. 2016, Deschines 2023, Sahai et al. 2021, and Spoker and Brow 2021. Lastly, the literature landscape revealed the impact that workplace isolation has on organizational and individual outcomes, to include employee performance, motivation, and organizational affiliation. This included research by Deschines 2023, Spoker and Brow 2021, and Wang et al. 2020. My systematic review uses social exchange theory to build a conceptual framework to address the research question, what leadership strategies can be used to address workplace isolation in a geographically dispersed workforce? Development of social exchange theory is often attributed to Emerson, Hollands, Thibault, Kelly, and Blau, starting in the 1950s. Social exchange theory is based on the cost-benefit analysis of social exchanges, in which social exchange is defined by Emerson as, quote, a two-sided, mutually contingent, a mutually rewarding process involving transactions or simply exchange, end quote. Emerson noted that reciprocity in exchange or relationship continues as long as there is a value for return. Parties involved in the exchange weigh the various costs and rewards and opt to engage in beneficial exchanges based on this cost-benefit analysis. My conceptual framework is based on the assumptions that a social exchange transpires between leaders in a geographically dispersed workforce, and that both geographic separation and workplace isolation interfere with the social exchange between employees and leaders, preventing the development of meaningful quality relationships needed to promote employee engagement, performance, and attitudes. Applying social exchange theory as a lens, as shown in the figure on the screen, isolation may be regarded as a risk and leadership and organizational support as a reward. When risks, i.e. isolation, outweigh rewards, i.e. leadership and organizational support, the reciprocity in the relationship diminishes. This conceptual framework proposes that leaders can employ strategies to address workplace isolation and increase employees' perceived leadership and organizational support in order to achieve enhanced employee performance, engagement, and attitudes in a geographically dispersed workforce. My research approach follows the systematic review process, as described by Pettigrew and Roberts 2006. This approach entails defining a research question, determining study types, executing a literature search, screening results, critically appraising studies, synthesizing studies, and disseminating findings. As defined by Goff et al. 2017, a systematic review is, quote, a review of existing research using explicit, accountable, rigorous research methods, end quote. During the first step, define the research question, I use the CIMO, context, intervention, mechanisms, and outcomes, model to assist with the development of my research question. Next, I determined the studies relevant to my research question and conducted a literature search for these studies. I screened results using inclusion and exclusion criteria. Non-peer-reviewed, non-English, and non-full-text articles were excluded. During the critical appraisal process, I applied the MMAT, Mixed Methods Appraisal Tool, version 2018 Quality Assessment Tool. At this point, I have selected 33 articles to include in my systematic review, and will discuss the selection process in more detail on the next slide. As I continue with my progress, I will use Atlas TI to conduct inductive coding and Circle to assess the competence of my findings. The Prisma chart shown on the screen provides a graphic representation of the identification, screening, eligibility, and inclusion process for my systematic review. I located 3,455 records by searching UMGC's OneSearch aggregate database, Scopus, and ABI-informed collection. I identified 714 duplicates, and I removed 979 records after applying exclusion criteria. Non-English, non-peer-reviewed, and non-full-text articles were excluded. 1,762 articles were screened by reviewing abstracts and titles, in which an additional 1,659 articles were excluded. This resulted in 103 records remaining after screening. An additional 29 records were identified through snowballing efforts, resulting in 132 full-text articles that were assessed for eligibility. 99 articles were excluded due to type of study, relation to research question, etc. I selected a total of 33 articles to include in the systematic review. As I noted at the beginning, this presentation captures my progress as of 5 June 2023 and is a work in progress. Items that I will continue to work on include analysis, key findings, revised conceptual model, implications for practice, limitations of the study, and areas for future research. I hope that you will be able to join my live presentation on Thursday, 15 June, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions, address any items, and provide a status update of my progress. Once again, thank you for taking the time to review my source presentation. I hope you have a wonderful day.